Hey guys, so I got a request from Bonham771 to do a how-to video on my the lanyard I have here on my Samurai Moon knife. And basically I improvised this. I wasn't planning on making exactly this when I started out. I was just kind of playing with knots and stuff. And this is made up of 3 knots. The first one looks like this. And this is known, I believe you can find it under a variety of names, one of which is the Rustler's Knot, or the Friendship Knot. I think I also found it under the Chinese Cross, or the Chinese Crown Knot, or even the Square Knot. I don't know, there's a bunch of names for it. And this section here is basically a Turk's head knot. And I finished off with a lanyard knot, or a diamond knot. So what you need is, of course, your length of paracord. Now, since I improvised my own lanyard, I'm not exactly sure how much cordage I used, but this here is just a pre-cut length of 6 feet, and this is more than enough. It also depends on how long you're going to make the Turk's head knot and how long this length here is, because I made it big enough so I can slip my hand through it if I needed to. You can skip this part altogether if you want. And you also need either a straw, or as I'm using the midsection of a pen, I basically just pulled off the 2 ends of it. And you need a rubber band or some kind of elastic band so you can secure the paracord. Now, I don't have any tools or anything to use in my paracord work. Some people use hemostats, or some people actually use Permalock needles or needle nose pliers to help pull cord through. The only thing that I found helpful that I actually have on hand is my Victorinox Sac Classic. I like to use the nail file / flathead screwdriver to either loosen nuts or work the slack out of it, so I'll be using that later. Okay, so first of all, let me just unwind this. Okay, so first of all, you feed one end of it through your tube. And for this particular setup, I pull about 2 feet of cord, leave about 2 feet of cord here. And then at the other end, fold it over like so, and tie the rubber band at the very top. That just secures it so the paracord doesn't move or go anywhere while you're working with it. And this part I'm making is actually the Turk's head knot here, the midsection. And depending on how long you want it to be, you can either make 3 or 4 twists around the cylinder. So there's one twist, because you end up where you started there. And just for this video, I'll make 4. Or is that actually that's 3, sorry. And when you get to the 3rd revolution, you hold on to it here. It's a little tricky because the paracord's going to want to slip around the tube, but you turn it around this way and you wind your way back. And while you're winding back, you're crossing over all of those revolutions that you made during the first twist. So you're making X's around all of them until you hit the beginning of the chord. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hold on to it again, turn around this way, and this time you're following the path of the chord during the first twist, and you're going parallel to it. Until you hit the very bottom. And now you're gonna weave your way back up, and the pattern you want to go in is under, over, under, over. So now as I go up, I'm gonna follow the path of this piece of cord right here. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna go under. And then I'm going to go over the next one, and then under the following one. Over the next one, under again. And over, and under. And over, and here I've made it to the beginning again, so I'm going to stop, and I'm going to turn this around this way again, and then I'm going to follow in the exact path of this length of cord. So I'm going to go parallel to it, and if it goes under, I'm going to go under. And when it goes over, I'm going to go over. So basically what you're doing is you're doubling up all the cord that you've laid down so far. And as you can see, since you're twisting the cord around the cylinder, the cord tends to get twisted up. So just straighten it out. Gonna get to the bottom, and same deal. Just following the cord that you laid down previously, doubling everything up. And just keep going until everything has been doubled up. And this is the last pass, and you know that because you're going to go under 2 lengths of cord. You're going under the stuff that you doubled up earlier. And now you've reached the end because everything else is doubled up. So quick glance over here. Yep, everything's been doubled up. And at this point, what you want to do is you want to put the cord through this hole right here, because that would make it uniform. Now everything is doubled up correctly. But instead of coming out here, you want to go through the entire Turk's head knot, and end up at the bottom. So because I don't have any good tools for this, I'm actually going to take advantage of the cylinder here. If you had hemostats, or if you had the tip of the cord attached to a Permalock needle, you can just slip it through pretty easily. And if you had pliers or hemostats, you can stick them up through the knot and pull it through. But since I don't have either on hand, I'm just going to slip this up the cylinder a little bit. And since the knot is fully formed, it's safe to take out the rubber band, and I'm actually going to pull that cord out. And I'm going to push this down just enough. So keep in mind that we want to slip the paracord into this hole here and down through the knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it down enough to open up the hole so that I can just slip it down through the cylinder. Easy peasy. Alright. So at this point, you would actually benefit if you worked out the slack in the Turk's head knot, because it would make this piece of cord longer so you can work with it easier later on. But it's not absolutely necessary, so I'm going to skip that step for now. Now what I'm going to do is, if you can kind of visualize it here, as you can see, I haven't worked out the slack in this knot there, so it looks a lot fatter than my finished Turk's head knot. But what's going to happen now is that you have a couple options here. You can either take this end and slip it through the lanyard hole in your knife, if that's where you want it to be attached, or wherever else, and that will make it permanently attached. Because as you can see here, to remove this knot, either I'd have to cut the paracord, or I'd have to undo the entire knot. So if you want it permanently attached, you can do that, or you can just attach it to like a split ring of some sort. I'm just going to attach it to, let's see, I want to grab my carabiner here. I'm just going to loop it through my carabiner.